Hey everyone, this is Dr. Ryan at Primal Chiropractic and Primal Elite Fitness. In this video blog today, we're going to be discussing running and how to prevent injuries. There's a lot of research indicating that the number one protocol to prevent injury is strength training. It's not stretching, it's not yoga, it's not any running specific movements, it's strength exercises. So today we're going to break down my top 2 running specific strength exercises, and we're also going to add on 2 mobility drills to make sure that you have the proper range of motion to also prevent any injury from coming on. The first exercise is going to be the single leg deadlift. It's very running specific as one leg is moving forward and the other one is moving back. If you have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, that'll help out with resistance and help you get stronger. If it's in your right hand, for example, you're going to kick your right leg up in the air. Make sure your standing foot knee is soft. It's never locked out. We don't want that. And we're going to kick that leg back until we feel a nice hamstring pull on that standing leg. Spine should be neutral. That kettlebell should be going straight down towards your shoes. And this is a great movement for not only ankle stability, you're controlling the knee joint, strengthening the hip, especially with flexion and extension, and at the same time you're also stabilizing the spine. The reason why we hold the bell in the right hand as we kick the right leg up is we're working the sling system, which is what we do with running. Opposite arm, opposite leg. You'll never see anybody run or walk like this. So that's why we don't hold on with the left hand and kick the right leg back. There's not as much bang for your buck in that position. Second exercise that will help out a lot is the rear foot elevated split squat. Again, if you have dumbbells, this will help with the resistance. Just like the name indicates, rear foot is elevated, and we're going to bend at both knees in a lunging pattern to groove this. Now with your torso, we usually keep it at an angle that you're running at. That's why you typically won't see a perfectly upright torso as you go down. So get it specific with running. That'll just translate over a lot more nicely, and then you can switch it up and train the other side. So what's nice about this is it's teaching the hip how to extend. We're engaging glute. We're also lengthening the quad, which is necessary as you extend the hip back. Those are the top 2 strength movements. Now when it comes to mobility, the first one we'll talk about is hip extension. We typically like a pure 30 degrees of hip extension without compensation elsewhere. If you're somebody that has low back pain ever with running, you may be overextending your low back while you extend the hip, which is not going to be a good thing. So that would look something like this. When you lose pure hip extension, we compensate and go low back extension, thinking it's through the hip, and it's not. So a nice move to work on is pinning a TheraBand to the wall. And as I swing my left arm back, I'm going to bring my left knee towards the wall. However, we're working on the right hip because we're extending it. So my goal is to extend through this hip without extending the spine. So if you're seeing this, you're not doing anything right. You want to stay neutral through the back, extend through that hip. You should feel a lot of stiffness or tightness in the front of the thigh. That's a good thing. That means you're extending that hip the right way, and you can repeat repetitions here. So this will teach the hip how to extend without any low back extension. The second drill is just the opposite. We're going to be working on hip flexion. And a nice way to groove this is get an elevated surface, maybe about 2 feet in the air. You can go from hands or forearms. Hands will be a little bit easier, forearms a little bit more challenging. And you can work on flexing the hip and bringing it in as far as you can, again, without compensation. So we don't want a big overrun in the back. You also don't want to start with a hyperextended spine. And groove hip flexion. It's a nice way to really teach those muscles how to fire the right way without cheating anywhere else. It's also going to engage the core, which is also very necessary with running. So try these things out. 2 strength exercises, 2 mobility drills. There's a lot more that you can, of course, do, but these are a few of my favorite if you're limited on time.